What's up, YouTube? It's Mess Nigga 8 here. Bringing you my first place Kashtira Deck Profile. Our locals this week we had an extra incentive to win this OTS match. So shout out to Pentasmite Gaming for doing that for us. Like I said, I played Kashtira. Just a small tournament report. It was just a three round 8-man tournament type deal. Round one, I played tier. Shout outs to David Dolsky. I opened up D-Shifter game 1 and 2, and pretty much nothing he could do about that. Sorry, broski, but that's how it goes. Round two, I played against Invoked. It was pretty good match. Game 1, I ended on Shangri-La Summon Limit, and that's pretty much what allowed me to win the game from there. In game 2, I just opened up blowout cards evenly, Lightning Storm, things like that. And round 3, I played against Bestial Dragon Link, and again, Summon Limit. And Summon Limit game 1 ended up winning me the game. Game 2, a combination of shifter and just standard Kashtira stuff, it allowed me to take it. But yeah, it was a fun tournament. Again, thank you to shop owners for doing this incentive for this match. I get right into the profile, so let's start with that. So of course we got 3 Fenrir. That's the big guy of the deck. He does it all. He gets rid of problems. He searches his buddies. It's really good. I mean, there's not much to say about Fenrir. Everybody knows what he does. Everybody knows how good he is. He plays a 3 unicorn. The card's good now, but it's gonna be really good in Photon Hypernova. Extra deck ripping is really good. That also played a part in me beating Bestial Dragon Link. I just took out a lot of his key extra deck monsters and limited what he could go to crack my board. So yeah, Unicorn is really good now, but it's gonna be busted later. So you might want to pick those up if you don't have them. But I played 3 Ogre. I don't really like playing 3 Ogre. I'm considering going down to 2 and playing another card instead, but it's in for now. So we'll just see how it goes. I keep playing it like this until I feel like I need to change it, but yeah, don't really know. I like having the 7 body, even though and sometimes manipulating what their next draw is pretty good. So, and eliminating just key cards, key 1-ups from the deck is really good too with his excavate effect. So yeah. That's all for the engine monsters. We'll go to non-engine monsters. So I played 3 of the Sabis. This card in combination with Birth is nuts. And yeah, being able to banish any Kashtira, then immediately bringing it back with Birth. It's like banishing a Fenrir, getting Fenrir with Birth, and then adding whatever else you need for follow-up or whatever. It's really good. This card is really good. So yeah, it's not gonna be played as much after Hypernova, but it's really good for now. 3 Astral Karibo to help get into your Diabloses, of course, and your other number monsters that you play. And the last monsters we play is 1 Pancratops. I have not seen this card in the 3 weeks I've been playing it. Not one time, I don't think. Have not summoned it. I can't say how good or how bad it performed because obviously I hadn't summoned it, but yeah, I guess I'll keep playing it. If not, I'll sub it out for something else. But yeah, as far as hand traps, play 3 Shifter, of course, to stop graveyard relying decks, of course, tier. Other decks don't like having their key cards being banished, so yeah, it's really good. It doesn't hurt me, of course. So yeah, 3 Shifter, 3 Ash. It's the only hand traps I really play. Those Ash, of course, works under Shifter, so there's not much else you really could play that would impact the meta too much. I think the only one I would consider right now is maybe Ghost Bell, but I'd rather play Bestials over Ghost Bell, so that's why they're not in here. And then the last 3 is Infinite Impermanence, so no explanation needed for that. All right, to the spells. Of course, 3 Kashtira Birth. You could choose to play 2 or 3. I just choose to play 3 because I like to see it in my opening hand to give me the best chance to end on my most desired board, but it's fine at either 2 or 3. I normally side 1 out when I'm going second, so that's player preference, I believe, but this card is really busted. Being able to normal summon level 7s without tribute is just crazy. And then the special summon effect does not target. So that's really, really good. You can't just like get crowed out of, well, yeah, get crowed out of your graveyard or anything like that. I mean, granted, they could take away what you want to bring back, but at the end of the day, you're still getting something back. The last line about banishing 3 cards, even though it has to be exactly 3 cards, that effect is very overrated, and people tend to forget about that. If you do pick up this deck, don't forget that effect. That effect could be game breaking depending on what deck you're playing against. So if you can resolve it, resolve it. 3 Pot of Prosperity to dig for the things that we need to dig for, floodgates, monsters, whatever you're missing out of your hand. So normally I'm banishing 6 for this because the extra deck doesn't really matter, but it just depends on the situation as well. I play 3 instant contact because I'm playing some elements of Neos fusions to allow me to get into my rank 7s quicker. This overperformed today. I think I opened it up every game. Every game it made a difference. I got hand trapped a few times on my initial summon and things like that, which could have stopped me from going off, but this allows me to get into my Diablosis or into my Shangri-La. So yeah, it's a good extended card. I mean, for 1,000 life points, I mean, yeah, it's really good. And 3-dimensional fishing, obviously for tier, other graveyard-based decks, things like that. And last 3 cards, 2 summon limit. I love main decking this card. Summon limit Shangri-La is ridiculous, but this card has won me so many games because people don't expect it. Being able to only summon twice, a lot of decks aren't, especially a lot of decks in the meta right now, aren't able to do that. Tier Sprite, they can't function just summoning twice. You know, some people choose the main deck Macrocosmos and Rivalry and things like that, but I'd rather just have this. You can have whatever types you want, but you can only summon twice. I mean, outside of Kashtira and maybe Labyrinth, I can't really think of many decks right now that can get by just summoning twice. But yeah, I might bump this to 3. I might drop one of the ogres for this and make it go to 3. And the last card is Kashtira Preparations. So this allows you to special summon one of your Kashtira monsters from your hand or either from your banish zone. This is also really good, especially on your opponent's turn. Like, you can chain, like if you can chain this to a monster effect and put your monster on the field, let that monster resolve, and then you can banish a problem monster with Fenrir or rip a card from the extra deck, or, you know, scout out what the next 5 cards are with Ogre. So it's pretty good, as well as the effect to look in their hand. Sometimes people overlook this. That happened to me yesterday and forget that if you activate a trap while this is already face up on the field and you control a Kashtira, you get to rip a card out of their hand face down. So it gives you free knowledge, things like that. I considered playing this at 2, but for now it's at 1. 1's been working out pretty well for me. So yeah, that's it on the main deck. We'll move on to the extra deck next. All right, for the extra deck, we got number 89, Diablosis, the Mind Hacker. This card is absolutely nuts. It allows you to just detach material. You peek at your opponent's extra deck. So going first, you don't know who you're playing against. You look at their extra deck, you pretty much know what they're playing now, and you rob them of their most valuable card from the extra deck. Then, if the card your opponent controls is banished face down, you get to banish amount of cards from your opponent's deck equal to the amount of face down cards they have banished. So yeah, this starts out, you know, you get 1 and then you get 1 from the top. But as you're setting up with Shangri-La or you have your Fenrirs and stuff go off, you're getting up to 6, 7, 8, 11 cards at a time. It's also pretty funny when people activate the desires while this is on the field, like playing against Sword Soul or people that, you know, cards like them, people that play stuff like that with desires in it. And then they end up having to banish like 15 cards face down from the top of their deck. But yeah, Diablosis is really nuts. Of course, we all know about the Shangri-La Diablosis interaction to block off zones. But yeah, Diablosis is good. You don't really need to play more than 1 unless you just feel as though you want to constantly have this on the field and go more towards a deck house strategy. But yeah, 1 has been fine for me. I never felt like I needed to. So yeah. We played Titanic Maw. This is basically another target for Astro Karibo, and then you can you overlay for this. If they set up a field or something, you can attack directly, and you can attach material from this and burn them for 500 for each card in the hand. So basically, it's just a quick way to get the Zeus, in case you need it. I like it a lot, and then also it helps with time as well if you need it to. So yeah, I've used that a few times. Yeah, I don't think I used it yesterday in the tournament, but yeah, it's pretty good. Harmonizing Grady L. This helps you out in your tier matchup and things like that. This eliminates at least one name from them when they try to resolve a tier. You can detach material from this and target a monster in your opponent's grave and attach it to it. This card can't be destroyed by battle by the attributes it has attached to it, nor can it be destroyed by card effects of monsters of those types. So typically you'll have one of your elemental types, water, fire, wind, attached to this, depending on which Kashtira you use. And you can detach one of those to steal a tier or steal anything else that's resolved in a graveyard or anything like that. Well, you can stop tier effects with that, or you can steal key monsters from them from the graveyard and things like that. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Don't make it as much, but yeah. And you have your Big Eye. Can change your heart pretty much. There's not much to say about Big Eye. So those are the four targets I play for Astro Karibo. Shanghai Era, we all know what this does. Only play one. I feel as though you don't need more than one. One is hard enough to out on its own. I mean, yeah, it can kind of, it detaches to save itself from battle or card effect, imperm or monsters that negate its effect. Yeah, and then if they have follow-up after that, yeah, it goes away. But typically, you don't really, in my opinion, you don't need more than one. But the special summon in each standby phase effect is nuts. Yours and your opponent's standby phase is nuts. The zone blockage is crazy. I blocked out a bunch of zones yesterday. I made it to one of my opponents had one zone, and he couldn't play after that. So, yeah, it's pretty nutty. It's gonna be even crazier after Hypernova, but I like it a lot. It's really, really good. And these next cards, they're pretty much just utility, depending on what's going on. Of course, we got Red Eyes Flat Metal Dragon, Time, Burn. Sometimes it can be used to make Zeus as well in a situation where your opponent has a card, a trap or something like that that'll destroy this. That you can make this, make it indestructible. It's always indestructible. Why it has exceeds material? So run it into something and then go Zeus after. Like I said, time, things like that. It's okay. I've used it to win a game of time one time, but other than that, it's honestly normally just games. Unless we're getting close to time, it's normally prosperity food. This is also normally prosperity food, but it does have an ability to lower the attack of a monster. So basically the same as all the other Dark Rebellion exceeds. It does the same thing pretty much. The only difference is if it's destroyed by battle card effect, you can scale it, and then you get that same effect once per turn, but that never comes up. This is part of prosperity food. Dragosat, I've made this a few times, but typically, if I'm making this, I'm probably going into another card in the extra deck I'll explain later, but I don't play the Brave package. It's honestly just in here because it's a generic level 7. That has a pop effect. It's decent. It's come up before, but not yesterday. And we got Zeus. Of course, we all know what Zeus does. There's no real reason to explain that. My links, BLS. Like I was saying, we all know what BLS does. I typically use these tokens to go into the BLS. The token, and a random Kashtira or something like that. This is typically also the way that we out Baguska in this deck. Typically after you shift to like Tier or any other deck that can make 2 rank 4s, or any grave dependent deck that can make rank 4s, they typically go into Baguska to try to stall you out. It's typically easy for this deck to make this on the following turn and just attack and go to 4,500, and then there's not much else they can do because of course it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects if used with a 7 or higher. So yeah. I also play World Gears of Theological Demiurgy. This card is typically part of prosperity food. I've made this thing one time, but if you make it with 3 monsters with different types and different attributes, you get a once per turn field white each turn, and it's unaffected by other monster effects. That's pretty much all it does. Like I said, it's come up once, but that's Pot of Prosperity food. Then I have Baron and Ching-Ying. You make these with Ash. These have come up before. A lot of times they get banished for Pot, but there are matchups that I will go into Baron or things like this, especially to protect my floodgates with Baron. So, yeah. And the last two are just elemental hero targets for instant fusion. Grand Neos and Brave Neos. If I had an Aqua Neos or Air Neos, I'd be playing that over Brave Neos because I do not like playing Brave Neos for the simple fact that it is light and it can get beast you, and you know it's annoying when you're trying to. It can be annoying when you detach this or whatever for whatever XC effect, and then they beat you at the end phase for Magnamute and they get stuff. I mean, yeah, of course you have answers to all that, but anyway, if I had a element that wasn't light or dark, it'd be nice, but I don't have it. You also have Aqua Neos is also really good. If I had Aqua Neos, I would play this obviously as Aqua Neos, and I would cut this, and this would be Mermail Abyss Giles. It's a level 7, requires 2 waters, and it has a quick effect skill drain for on either player's turn. So yeah, I would definitely be playing that, but since I don't have it, I'm obviously not playing it, but that's the extra deck. All right, we're getting to the side deck. Let's be real quick because it's really basic and simple. I didn't really do anything extravagant with it. So these are my going first cards. Triple Solemn Judgment. No explanation really needed. Going first, I want to be able to tell my opponent no as much as possible. So yeah, that's in there for going first. I play triple Soul Drain for graveyard and line decks. That's pretty much self-explanatory. There's nothing really else to say about that. Going second, I play triple Dark Ruler, triple Lightning Storm, and triple Evenly Matched. So yeah, that's it. I didn't side any hand traps or anything like that. I pretty much just went in with the idea of my opponent's gonna set up a board, and I'm gonna have all my board breaking cards in, and I'm gonna try to break it as best as I can. So there was no real philosophy behind it, and it worked out. So that's it. That's the profile, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me how you feel about the deck in the comments and everything. And again, shout out to Penta Smite Gaming. Shout out to the local. Shout out to Josh, David Dolsky, Devin, Jose. Just shout out to everybody that comes out and plays every week. It allows me to test and get proficient with this deck. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate it.